Hey, Aaron Fulk.
Hi, Scott Havens. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. How is your week going so far with graduation right around the corner?
Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. There is something to do every single day. And you know what's really fun is there's something to do for high school every single day, but college is making this all their deadlines for next year too. So like we're picking out classes this week, we're picking out roommate stuff this week,
What?
and everything stuff. Like you do all of it all these next 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a lot.
You don't do it 2 weeks before college. You do it when you
No,
graduate high school.
actually, we were supposed to have an appointment right this second because when they said 4 o'clock, I thought they meant Central Standard Time, but I'm dumb and they're on the East Coast, so they meant 4 o'clock East Coast time. So today, when they sent me the reminder, I'm like, "Oops, I have a show then." So we're doing it Thursday instead. But yeah, we're picking out his classes. Like he'll have his whole schedule Thursday.
Wow, is this a new thing? Am I just out of the loop? I mean, I'd love to know what the audience thinks about this one.
I don't know because he's got friends going all over the country. They all kind of do their own stuff, but I do know that May 1st was decision day when most colleges closed down their admissions, right? You had to say I was going to that school and accept your if you were admitted. So I do know May 1st was admissions day. And I know that you know how they get roommates now?
No, how do they get roommates?
Okay, so they each and they're usually not school sponsored. The kids just do it. They each they start like these Instagram pages and they submit their photo and a little bit about themselves, and then they start DMing each other. So like I've been having friends drive. We haven't found a roommate yet. I think my son's actually going to go potluck, but because he's more of a boy. But a lot of the girls are doing this. My friends have been driving their kids all over to meet different people to see if they gel before they move in. Like it's a whole different world.
That is mind blowing. Well, I was going to go to the Down Syndrome Innovation Center that Evardy Construction helped build, and then the following week to Big Brothers Big Sisters. But during the summer, we're going to be highlighting all the things that Evardy Construction has built. And with Bestway International, we really don't have to talk too much because tariffs are doing our job for us. So, and then you've helped them with Cargo Cafe, right?
We help with Cargo Cafe, and then also you're going to see a whole bunch of videos start coming out, and you're going to get to know all the people that work at Bestway International. It's really cool. So we've done some video shoots. We've got one with Chance over there this week. So yeah, we're getting them a lot more. They get to see a lot of stuff. So look, Sheba says, really so much better than I was. Yes, I know, because I went potluck with a roommate and it did not go well. So I completely agree. Like they get to know each other, but kids, this is how they get to know each other anyways these days. So it's interesting.
It's amazing. I'm emailing about kindergarten soccer right now. So not so much what you have going on in our world, but I don't know.
I was just doing that. Like it feels like I was literally just doing that, right? So
yeah,
soak it in, because I think for so long I was like, I wish we could get through this phase. I wish we could get through that phase. And now I'm like, I wish I could get those phases back.
Amen. I totally agree.
And I wish we weren't in the 18-year-old know everything phase.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. But I don't think people are here to hear us talk about our children. I think they're here for our panel.
Well, I think they're here for both. But you want to talk a little bit more about our sponsors, and then let's bring in our panel.
Yeah.
Also, absolutely. If you are here, let us know if you are watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Are you watching live or are you watching the replay?
Absolutely. No, with Bestway International, the tariffs are now at an all-time high. I mean, if you are shipping anything from China as of the 9th and it didn't leave by midnight, it is now held up at 157% tariff. Now you could go to a warehouse to bond it and hold it, or you can pay 157% tariff, or you can call Bestway International to figure that out. Evardy, you don't have to go far. They're building stuff all throughout Kansas City, and they happen to like Aaron Fulk a lot, and that's pretty much it.
Paul says, watching from an Evardy construction job site trailer. Hey, trespassing.
Hey, when does Paul get to host with me? When are you going out of town?
I will be at my mastermind in July. So that first week of July.
Paul, July's coming around the corner.
Like July 7th or 8th, whichever one is the Tuesday. Paul, Mark, we don't even have any guests yet. Who should we get special guests that'll be hilarious?
Yeah, we absolutely will. I mean, I just know that Aaron's going to be. You're going to have a couple drinks, like drinks with leaders, so you don't have to tune into Paul and I hosting. So that way you don't have to worry about it.
I don't worry about it. When I'm not here, I don't worry about it at all. You got it. You're fine. Although last time I was getting texts from my team saying, "Where is Scott?"
Yeah. Probably connecting to Wi-Fi.
Okay, nobody cares. Let's go. Let's pull up the world's worst music for a podcast ever. Here we go. I'm going to delete it. Oh, hold on. Paul says, popping in to say hello. Keep up the good work, Aaron. Got Matt, you too.
Come back on the show, Matt.
Paul's down for July. All right, here we go. Okay, we've got 2 awesome guests. We've got Jake and we've got Thomas. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Right, music is so terrible, but thanks for coming. All right, we are just going to jump right in. Jake, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having us on. This is a great opportunity to talk to many leaders, and I've seen a couple of the shows, and I'm a big fan, already right now. So thank you for doing this. My name is Jake McCabe. I'm the new owner of 2 Express Employment Professional Staffing Agency territories in South Kansas City and in Overland Park, Kansas. I picked Express just because of how big and strong they are. I've been in the industry for 8 years. My wife and I and our 2 children moved here about 13 years ago. I spent the early part of my years in the telecom industry, and then found myself in staffing and just love it. We moved to Overland Park, and we, being from Philly, the city of brotherly love, if you will, it really isn't quite that. Came here and just everybody's so freaking nice. We're not going anywhere. Love Kansas City. I remember hitting the road once when I first came here to visit, and they let you merge into traffic here. They do it elsewhere, unfortunately. And I asked somebody, I said, they let you merge. I wave, saying thank you, and they don't wave. People don't wave back. And this person, a friend of mine, just said, well, that's just because it's expected. We're just nice around here. So I love that. I found that to be great. 2 sons, 24 and 20. One of them's in the construction industry, and one of them is a pilot. He's at Central Missouri, finishing up his commercial rating here in the next month or 2, and then starts becoming a flight instructor. So
I've heard they have a really good aviation school.
They do. And it's close enough where we were able to get everybody together on Sunday nights, have dinner, and get together. I'll go flying with my son sometimes. I'm a pilot too, and so he's close enough that we can do those sorts of things. So good time, and like I said, we thoroughly enjoy Kansas City, and I love this opportunity that I have just received too. So I'm excited to be an owner in an industry that I love, and being able to make a impact there.
Favorite places to fly in 13 seconds.
Langley Air Force Base for me when I was growing up. Grew up all around the world. Old man was an Air Force pilot, career Air Force, so bounced around all over the place. You can see I wear glasses. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do military aviation, but kid flies. I don't know how he gets it, but he gets access to Whiteman Air Force Base. He'll shoot instrument landing approaches over there.
I could barely drive with my kid when he was learning. I don't know how you're flying. I'm very impressed. I was so stressed out. So, well, welcome. I can't wait to learn more about you. All right, Thomas, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
You got it. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity. So my name is Thomas Bosilevac. I'm the founder of MashMetrics. So we help marketers, sales teams, product teams collect, transform, report, analyze, and really take action upon the data chaos that they have. They're sitting upon all kinds of stuff, and we try to help them out. I moved back into Kansas City in 2020. I actually was born and raised here, and probably made the worst career decision ever to quit VML. I was employee like 200. It's now at 30,000. Probably missed out on some career growth there. But I wanted to get out. The bubble was starting to burst. So I went out to LA, where they do not let you merge whatsoever. Horrible driving experiences there. But leaped from LA, moved to Peoria, Illinois, then up to Oregon, then spent 9 years in San Diego. And like I said, 2020, I came back to a whole new city than it was, where I grew up. Absolutely love it. Love the thrill of downtown here. And I'm a lifer, as you can tell. KC, baby.
Now, Thomas, I've got to hear, how are you incorporating artificial intelligence into your business?
Good ways and bad ways. So what we don't do is use it for analysis whatsoever. We use it really to build a lot of lookup lists. So, hey, give me the top 500 cities in the United States and their most common misspellings and their population, things like that. We can, get those kinds of things really, really quickly. We've optimized our operations big time by using, automated transcripts, document fills, things like that. But when it gets into data storytelling, or it's, hey, here's a bunch of data, tell me what's going wrong or what's going on, there's just too much business context that needs to go on behind that. And by the time you enter in all of that to create that model, you might as well just almost do it yourself. So we definitely allow it to, to do what we do faster. I wouldn't necessarily say it makes us do it better. But when you're a client services organization, time is money. So if we can get things, done a lot faster at the same scale of quality, we'll definitely try it. But we've tried many different times of, trying to use it for like the analysis or even data visualization. It might give us some ideas of how to look at the data, but you've got to power AI, otherwise it will power you. You don't want that.
Scott and I went to something where a bunch of CEOs were scared that AI was going to take away their employees, were scared they were going to take it away. And my biggest takeaway was that the jobs will just shift because you got to have the people to manage that AI.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm scared for the companies that get rid of, kind of that whole area, because context is everything. Context is absolutely everything. When you get rid of that business intelligence, then the AI doesn't work.
I'm already seeing it on LinkedIn. I can tell in 2 seconds what's the AI versus the authenticity.
We're kind of guilty. We're guilty, all admit. But again, like our process there is, okay, here's some topics. Now, Thomas, put your expertise. Now put it into, I think we use flow.ai or something that makes it all nice and creative. And,
it's the personal brands and the people that just discovered ChatGPT that are driving me crazy. Because I'm like, it doesn't even sound like you. Don't you know you?
Right.
That's the ones that are driving me crazy. All right, Scott, your turn.
Now, Jake, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
Well, Scott, I've been around for a little while. I've got a couple.
You have a couple.
All right. One was probably 15 years ago, an organization called Clear or Clearwire. First company to bring 4G wireless technology out there. They were in Kansas City as well, too. It ended up getting rolled up into Sprint over time. But when I started there, I started as the indirect general manager, and there were about 4 or 5 of us with a picnic table to start. And within a year, I became the leader of the group shortly thereafter. And we went from basically 0 employees to about 600 direct and indirect employees, and 0 revenue to 68 million 1 year. That was a fascinating time frame, and it was pretty much a 7-day-a-week job. And I would say, if anyone's interviewing, looking for people, and you find somebody that was with Clear and they lasted a year or longer, hire them. And they have fortitude. And then, of course, my biggest one is becoming a business owner here recently with Express and franchising. I love it. It's a privilege to be able to sign, the front of the check and know that, I'm directly helping a lot of people, and it's turning out to be more and more. We're growing, thankfully, and help their families out and be, a big part of supporting them and their livelihoods. So wasn't an easy decision. I'm glad I made it now, but stepping off the ledge and owning your own business, challenging, but I wouldn't change it at all. I couldn't be more excited to be here. Couldn't be more excited to get back with you over a long period of time. And I'm just loving what we're doing here as a team. Love my staff. Love the folks that we're helping, the companies and the temporary associates. And that's that. I'm
obsessed with the idea of going from 0 to 6 to 8 million in 1 year. I'm more obsessed with who was the operations, like where'd the person that was running the operations in the back end up there, right? That person, do you still have a relationship with them?
It's so interesting. We have such a bond because I've never been in an organization like that. It's just high power, high energy. The old Craig McCabe group, led by some folks that just did not sleep, and therefore we did not sleep. Just great people, just high energy. Go.
Sounds exhausting, right?
Yeah.
It's everybody's dream until it's like, oh wait.
Yeah, exactly. Sunday at 5:00. Oh, I gotta go home for dinner.
Exactly. Well, awesome. Okay, Thomas, look, before we jump into your Scott's question for you, a lot of people are interested in this. AI is a great tool for us. Use it daily to help optimize our internal operations. Exactly. Jobs and work adapt and evolve. Same goes for AI's impact on the workforce. Get in on AI or get left behind. That's the thing that I keep saying to Matt, to everybody is jobs have always adapted. I don't know why people are all of a sudden scared. We weren't using computers that long ago either, right? And now everyone in the office is using a computer. So I agree with you, Matt. All right, go ahead, Scott.
Thomas, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
First of all, shout out to Angie. She's actually our head of operations, so she probably uses AI more than I do.
Angie, good job tuning in.
Yep, and our stuff keeps looking better and better, not worse and worse. So it's awesome. But I've been around a while too, so I have two as well. The first one is really what kicked off really me as a true data person, and then also the business. So I was working at Caterpillar. This was probably circa like 2004. And I just started as a lonely analytics guy. And I had fallen upon that their organic search traffic had gone down. And when I looked into it, basically traffic from Caterpillar Bulldozer was going down, which you would think is their top thing. That's what Caterpillar does, is make bulldozers. Well, when you type in Caterpillar Bulldozer, basically the first 10 results were Caterpillar kills, Caterpillar hates Palestinians, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what had happened was one of their bulldozers was used in, unfortunately, rolling over somebody in the Palestinian war. So I definitely, and this went all the way up. My boss was like, well, we can't just say this. Like, you're gonna have to present this to the big guys. And so we did. It was first meeting I had with, board of directors, CMO, CFO. I mean, everyone was certainly very, very concerned about this. Head of PR, obviously. And I was nervous as hell. I was in my early 20s, and my boss, I came in, here's all the numbers. He's like, Thomas, don't ever walk in there with numbers. Walk in there with a story. You better figure out a story to tell. Otherwise, it's all in. It changed my entire perception about analytics, that people don't really want to see the data. They want to understand the story and what they can do about it. So that really, that kept in my mind forever and ever and ever. The second one is, like many, 2020 was certainly a big year of change. Being involved in digital analytics, we finally were at a point where we were getting so many opportunities that we actually could pick and choose. And instead of actually focusing on organizations that needed a project done, I need to install GA4, et cetera, we met with companies that really wanted to build out their analytics roadmap. And it totally changed our business. Those 80%, I should say, of those companies that came to us then are still with us. They signed 6-12-month contracts. And instead of treating analytics like a project, we really treat it like a discipline within the organization to make sure it's embedded in marketing, embedded in sales, embedded in product, and really across the organization. And it's a heck of a lot more fun to work with people for years than trying to get a new client every month or so. So that was the pivotal change then.
I love the idea of retention over sales. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Always.
Awesome. Yeah, that's I love the storytelling piece of that. That's so very, very, very true. And that's why you should have stayed at VML, because now you'd be telling all sorts of stories. Just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm still telling a lot of stories, but yeah.
I'll tell
Who
you.
knew they were going to grow that much? Who knew?
I'll tell you off base my multi-million-dollar job choice. We've all got one at this point, right?
I probably could have quit with stock options by now, quite frankly, if I would have stayed there.
I have a friend that just doesn't spend his stock options, and he does really well. I won't tell you a story. I won't tell you who, but
John Cook, I'll come back. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Thomas. First of all, how are we almost to June? We're in May. How are your 2025 goals going? How are we in May? And
they're going well, but you just scared me in saying that it was, May again now.
Okay.
We snake it. We got to change it up.
Yeah, let's do this. Thomas, you go first this time, and we're going to end with Jake. How are your 2025 goals going, and how can the Kansas City community help you? And also, I'm adding this to that. What is the best way to reach out to you guys? Add that too.
Awesome. 2025 is super, super, super exciting. 24, we really concentrated on a lot of our operations and really building our staff to include engineers, to include storytellers, technical writers, the whole bit, the whole gamut. But as you mentioned earlier, there's an operational point of that if you grow too fast, then the client fails. So we made sure not to be in that position. And then in 2025, we're go. We're meeting all of our benchmarks thanks to Sava. She set up our LinkedIn strategy. She set up our prospects, our ICPs, and now we're ready to go back on market. We've really grown off of landing and then expanding within organizations, but now so any marketers that are having difficulty with their data, or product teams that want to know their customer flow, or sales teams, give MashMetrics a click. Go to MashMetrics.com, go to our contact page, and we'll get right with you.
What is the best way to reach out to you?
I would say MashMetrics.com and click on the contact, and then we'll get right to you. Or Thomas at MashMetrics.com.
Thomas, I'm going to ask Jake the same question, but what industries, if you had to rank your top three, I know you serve a lot, but what are your top three industries that you serve?
Everyone always asks that. And
got to lead the horse to water.
You do. And I had a manager once said, you have one client, that's a client. You have two clients, now it's a conflict of interest. You have three, now you have a specialty. But so we are not really. We work with healthcare, we work with insurance or fintech. We work with the largest gaming manufacturer in the world. But it's really not so much vertical centric; it's team centric. So we really work well with a marketing team. And then you've got your B2B, your B2C, long-term, short-term models there. Or product teams that they go online, they have a SaaS product per se, or quite a user journey on their website, like filling out insurance forms, things like that. Or even just sales teams where sales isn't talking to marketing, or they are, and they're arguing about attribution. I want credit for this. No, I want credit for that. Those are the teams we work best with. We've worked with dozens of verticals. I don't want to say we work with every vertical, right?
No, that was a good way to segue to drive down a couple of top three industries. Now, is your favorite client the most profitable one, or is there a certain industry that's your favorite client?
Ooh, good. No. And I think our most favorite one probably will not be ever going to be our most profitable, because we love gaming. Like, we love looking at the customer journey, how we can get people more engaged, all that kind of thing. So that's fun.
It's good.
Not always profitable unless you get Candy Crush someday. And
I was going to say some of those games on here have to be very profitable, because they're everywhere I turn.
Some are.
Like, some of those have marketing budgets that I can't even imagine at this point.
Or the most exciting are the ones where we can increase their profitability.
Right.
Where we can show them, hey, we increased your profitability, we increased your optimization. So.
Love that. All right, Jake. Halfway through 2025, how are your 2025 goals going, and how can the Kansas City community help you?
Well, thank you. And to add a little bit with Thomas too on some of our positions are vertical agnostic as well too. So we're in all kinds of industries. 2025 goals. When I took over, we sat down with the team, put our goals together, and really came up with the idea that we could grow about 600% this year. And so far, we're doing pretty good. We've grown about 250%. We've almost tripled our associates out there, our temporary and temp to hire and direct hire associates. So we're excited about that, but we have a long way to go as well. We do something unique called a fill rate. The staffing industry is interesting, especially at the general labor level. It's staffs about 70% or so, not to go high into the data points. Sorry. We got a goal of 96%. We're beating 90% now. So we're getting closer to that. And it's, so we're doing the right things to make the right moves. And the way we're doing it is old blocking and tackling, being Johnny on the spot with our customers, making sure that we're sending the right associates to the right company and the right fit. Sounds easy, not always easy. We really have to put a lot of focus into that to create a win-win situation. And that's why we do it. That's our mission, create a win-win situation. Our customer's happy, but our associate has a good career path and income and can support their family. So we're excited about that sort of thing. And then growing, getting the word out, to folks that, have staffing challenges. There's a lot of things going on out there in just the staffing world. Some companies are having a hard time finding staff. There's uncertainty. Scott, you were mentioning the tariffs. A lot of customers. One of our biggest verticals would be warehousing, manufacturing, logistics, and there's a lot of unknowns. I talk with customers all the time, and there's ways that we can help them. We can do payroll for them, so they have employees that they love, but they might not be able to work them for a month because of the uncertainty and what's coming product-wise. So we can help out there. We can take the risk, do the payrolling, unemployment, insurance. That's very helpful to a lot of these folks. We e-verify too, and we got more and more customers asking about that in recent times to make sure that they're not putting themselves at risk. So a lot of opportunity.
What is the best way for someone to reach you?
My cell phone, 267-251-6728, anytime. And all of my customers know that. And then jake.mccabe at expresspros.com.
All right. I think that's the first time that's ever happened in 5 years, 800 guests. You're the only one.
That's what happens when you deal with the owner, like the three of you. You get the answer direct.
I like that. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Go back and watch if you're looking for cell phone numbers or emails, just remind us or connect on LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much to Bestway International and Evardy Construction. And thank you, Scott, for being such a great co-host. We will see you same time, same place next week. Bye, guys.